Linsey Derival. I was born in Haiti, but when I was about 4, I moved to Dominican Republic. And my grandfather's Cuban, but I mostly identify with my Dominican Republic side. Today I will be showing you how to make Habichuelas con Dulce, also known as Dominican sweet beans. And you can eat it with Dominican milk cookies, or you can eat it for breakfast, or you can eat it as an after supper, you know, after you had your heavy meal. If you want a little bit of something to eat before you go to bed, you can also have that. This dish reminds me of home. Every time I smell the sweet beans, or every time I just taste the spoon of it, it brings a very warm feeling to my heart. And to this day, I can still remember coming home from church and running to the neighbor's house, and they would have a huge pot of habichuelas con dulce waiting for me and my family. And this dish just really means a lot to me, and I hope you guys can enjoy it as well if you decide to cook it at your own place. So let's get right into it, shall we?
Alright guys, so here you'll find my ingredients. I had 3 sweet potatoes. I had cinnamon sticks, but I only used 2. I have whole cloves, and I only used 10 of those. I have a bag of red kidney beans. I have evaporation milk, but you can substitute the milk for whichever milk you feel most comfortable with, but for more authenticity you should use the evaporated milk. I also have a can of coconut milk, a pinch of sea salt, and a bag of cane sugar. You will also see that I have a pot of boiling water as well. Now we're going to go ahead and add our kidney beans to the boiling pot of water. It'll take about an hour and 15, an hour and 30 minutes to cook. Just make sure you keep checking it every 15 to 30 minutes, adding some more water. Now we're going to see our sweet potatoes. You're going to want to cut them small enough where it can boil within a 20-minute to 30-minute period, but not too small, and you don't want them to be cut too large because it'll take too long to boil. After my beans have been boiling for about an hour and 25-ish minutes, I am now draining them, but make sure you save the water because we're going to use it to blend the beans. You're also going to want about 2 cups of fresh water on the side because the water from the beans is not going to be quite enough. We're going to go ahead and add about half the beans that we have in that colander into the blender, and we're going to fill up the blender about halfway with water, just enough to cover the beans but not too much because we don't want it to turn out too watery. Now we are blending the beans. We're going to blend it for about 30 to 45 seconds or until you see the consistency is smooth throughout the blender. As you guys can see, this batch came out a little too watery, so I made sure when I blended the next one I added a lot less water and more beans. And what we're doing now is we're just going to strain the beans. We're going to separate the water from the paste, and we're just going to make sure we get all of the water out of the paste, squeezing out every little drop that we can to make sure we get as much beans as possible. This is all of the unwanted bean paste that we have. If you want, you can save it and make some refried beans. If not, you can go ahead and throw it all into the trash. Here is our beans. This is what it looks like after we have separated the paste from the water. Like I said, I love my beans to be very, very thick, and this came out just perfect. We're not going to add the rest of our ingredients, so add 2 of your cinnamon sticks and then add 10 whole cloves, and make sure you wash them before you add them in. Then we're going to add our can of evaporated milk. Go ahead and just dunk that can right in there. And I also added a pinch of salt and vanilla extract, but if you do not want to do that, then you absolutely do not have to. Now we're adding our can of coconut milk into it as well. Then we're just going to mix everything together, and make sure your pot is on medium heat, and we're just going to go ahead and mix that. Our second to last ingredient is sugar. I added 1 1/2 cup because I like my beans pretty sweet, but however sweet you like your beans is totally up to you. So if you want to add 2 cups of sugar, go ahead and do that. If you want to add 1/4 cup of sugar, go ahead and do that. But remember, this is habichuelas con dulce, so it's supposed to be pretty sweet, but the level of sweetness really depends on you. and we're just gonna head and mix that in. We are now adding our final ingredients, the sweet potatoes, and we're gonna mix them in with the beans. Then we're gonna turn up the volume, the heat, up a little bit above medium. That way the potatoes can cook within 30 minutes. It took me about 25 to 35 minutes for them to cook. So you just want to make sure you keep tasting it every 10 to 15 minutes to make sure that the sweet potatoes don't overcook. This was after about 15 to 20 minutes into boiling the beans and the sweet potatoes. You can see that the sweet potatoes are already becoming a sweet, dark golden color, and that's what the color you want, and that's when you know that they are almost ready. And this is what your final product will look like. It looks beautiful. The sweet potatoes are a very nice color. The consistency of the beans is really thick. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.